Okay, boys, got a little something special for you.
Hello, poetry lovers. Today's poem is a story of crime in the big city. Tom the Piper's son.
No, it's not. Not today. The poem for today is Percy Shelley's Mutability. But now you know where I got the Hello Poetry Lovers thing. It's from Rocky and Bullwinkle. Although no one under the age of about, I don't know, 55 is going to get that one. Oh well. Here we go with Mutability. All right, I've already done some preliminary work on this thing, and so if you want to press pause on the old video and mark down as I have marked it. So basically, what we've got here is it looks at first glance something like a sonnet because it's so compact, but it's really 4 quatrains rhyming A B A B. So let's go ahead and start with a reading. Mutability by Percy Shelley. We are as clouds that veil the midnight moon. How restlessly they speed and gleam and quiver, streaking the darkness radiantly. Yet soon night closes round and they are lost forever. Or like forgotten lyres, whose dissonant strings give various response to each varying blast, to whose frail frame no second motion brings one mood or modulation like the last. We rest. A dream has power to poison sleep. We rise. One wandering thought pollutes the day. We feel, conceive or reason, laugh or weep, embrace fond woe, or cast our cares away. It is the same, for be it joy or sorrow, the path of its departure still is free. Man's yesterday may ne'er be like his morrow. Naught may endure but mutability. Okay, so mutability then means liability or tendency to change. So now that you know that, you should be wondering about that last line. Seems paradoxical, but we will talk about that in a moment. Okay, so what you've got here is the lines that I have underlined here are the ones where there is some possibility for more than one interpretation with respect to the number of beats per word. Okay, so quiver is either 2 beats, which would make this an 11-beat line, or it's 1, that sort of swallowed syllable that would make it a 10-beat line. So if we go with the shorter of the possibilities, then you can see that generally, okay, we've got 10, 10, 10, and then the 11, for sure an 11-beat line there, the ultimate line in the first quatrain. And then we've got 10, 11, 10, 10, 4 10s, and 4 10s here. But as you can see, there's a bunch of possibility for different interpretations. And I think that plays into the basic sort of central impulse of the poem, change. Okay, so I've underlined all the words here that are that might have more than one way of interpreting the number of beats. Oh, and by the way, today's annotations are brought to you by the Musgrave CUB 3030T. I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's sort of a hybrid pencil. It's midway between a jumbo, like this one, the Choo Choo, is a jumbo pencil, and this one is a little bit smaller in diameter. So this is an intermediate pencil for little tots that are learning how to write. Okay, so off we go. I think let's go ahead and take a look at some of the metrical considerations here, just real quick. We are as clouds that veil the midnight moon. How restlessly they speed. I'm going to give that a medial stress. Sorry. How restlessly they speed and gleam and quiver or That'd be sort of a mid-range stress. Streaking the darkness radiantly. These are both those are unstressed. So that's a dactylic foot. Radiantly is a dactylic foot. If it's 4 beats radiantly, then we would have another unstressed syllable here at the end. Yet soon. And I'm probably going to ask you a question about enjambed lines. So I'm going to draw a little circle there. There's an enjambed line. There's an enjambed line. Of course, there's an enjambed line. And that's it. Okay, so 3 enjambed lines there that you can see. They've got the little dots. Okay, night closes round and they are lost forever. Or like forgotten liars whose, and dissonant is one of those words, okay, where we have the doubt as to where we are with respect to the number of beats. Whose, and you could say it's dissonant or dissonant, okay? Strings, but either way, we've got the last syllable is stressed. Give, and here's another one, various. Various response to each varying blast. I'm going to go ahead and mark this here because this is something that we paid attention to in a couple of videos ago. This is the example of polyptoton. Okay, so polyptoton, as you may recall, is a figure of repetition in which words that have a similar root or the same root are used in varying forms. So here, vary would be the root here, and various and varying. Okay. To whose frail frame no second motion brings, one mood or modulation like the last. We rest. A dream has power to poison sleep. So that's either power as one syllable, or we've got the unstressed second bit of that. Okay, we rise. But there's no doubt that this begins. Look how many lines we have that begin with we, okay, plus something. So that's an example of anaphora. We rest, we rise, then we have in the last one we feel. Okay, so just as a reminder, anaphora, any figure of repetition, its project is emphasis, and in this case, because it's that short combination of things, it's also parallelism. We are, we rest, we rise, we feel. Okay, so remember anaphora, repetition of the initial, either initial word or a couple of words in successive or nearly related phrases, clauses, or sentences. Okay? In this case, these are almost sentences by themselves. Yeah. All right. We rise. One wandering thought pollutes the day. We feel. These are spondaic feet that are opening here. Conceive or reason, laugh or weep. Embrace fond woe, or cast our cares away. It is the same. 4. Be it joy or sorrow, so it's like that. So it's either sorrow as one beat. The path of its departure still is free. Man's yesterday may ne'er be like his morrow. Man's yesterday may ne'er be like his morrow. I mean, this line right here, so you can expect a question about that on the quiz. All those spondees then are, I mean, this is the point that he's trying to make in the poem. Man's yesterday may ne'er be like his morrow. And it's not may as in, it's a possibility. It's not able to be. Man's yesterday, it's not able to be like his tomorrow. Okay? Naught may endure, but mutability. So notice we have the falling, the feminine endings here, feminine ending, one feminine ending here, feminine ending there. So you need to remember, so make a note to yourself, that when a line ends with an unstressed syllable, it is feminine. When it ends with a stressed syllable, it is masculine. And you all remember the little hint I gave you to help remember that? Okay, so let's take a look at a couple of the, there's lots of sound that's going on in this poem, a ton, right? So even if you just say go through, and I'm going to mark the first part for you, then I want you to do this on your own. Just mark the alliteration. Midnight, moon. How about this one? Restlessly they speed and gleam. Restlessly they speed and gleam. So 3 examples of assonance there with that long E. And remember when we have the long syllable, the long vowel sounds? This is cacophony, right? And you'll see in this poem that there's a good deal of the back and forth between euphony and cacophony. Those M's are euphonous, but those high E's are without doubt cacophonous. Okay? All right, so streaking the darkness radiantly. We've got those nice S's there with the S in streaking and darkness radiantly, yet soon. So if you want to go ahead and mark those as sibilants. And the soon. Okay. Night closes round and they are lost forever. All right. How about if we, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and just mark a couple more. The alliteration in like and liars. Okay. Let's see. So we already talked about the polyptoton. So there's lots of repetition in the poem, not just in terms of, so alliteration and assonance and consonants. These are all also, from a rhetorical standpoint, figures of repetition. And the repetition is designed for emphasis. It creates a certain, as it does in alliterative verse, it creates a certain architecture, a pattern or form that the poem follows. So go ahead and finish up on the sound devices, okay? But how about if we do this? We haven't done this on too many of the poems. Is to deal with the figurative language here. So this is this is human beings. Wait a minute, can you see this? I got to move it, I think. All right, there we go. All right, so that is human beings. All right, and the vehicle then is clouds. So it's a simile, right? We are as clouds that veil the midnight moon. So you're probably asking yourself then, what's the ground? All right. So the thing that that is similar, what it is that connects them, is something that is transparent, and say lacking in substance. So I mean, a thick piece of glass could be transparent, but it's got substance to it. But here we're talking about clouds that veil. So the idea of veiling, a veil is not going to is going to sort of block the view, but not entirely, because if somebody walked around with a veil that blocked the view entirely, they'd slam into walls and such. So there's that idea there as well. But look, we are as clouds, and so then we have the second simile. So I'm just going to put simile here, and then the other simile is this one. Take it up here. So the tenor stays the same. That's human beings, But this one, the vehicle is what? It's forgotten lyres. Forgotten lyres. And as you know, lyres, this is the basically like the three-stringed instrument that was generally used in the earliest of poetry. We know that poetry was meant to, at least in the early stages of poetry, was meant to be accompanied musically. It was meant to be sung, and the lyre was the three-stringed instrument, generally three strings, that someone, a poet, would use to accompany themselves as they recited. Okay, so we're now being compared. Human beings are being compared to forgotten lyres, not just lyres. And your note tells you these are wind harps, whose dissonant strings give various response to each varying blast. So as the wind blows and it gusts and it calms and so forth, then there's a like I have a wind chime outside my house and the wind's not blowing. Otherwise, I'd open the door so you could hear it. But depending on how strong the wind blows, then and the chimey parts slam together, it's going to make a louder sound, a softer sound, and this sort of thing. So this is what he's now saying, that we as human beings, just like above, we're sort of transparent and lacking in substance. We are also, in terms of our ground, think of it as this. It's the idea that the ground is sort of a musical instrument that is no longer played. Okay, it's no longer relevant. I suppose is the way to think of that. Okay, so the ground then, like forgotten lyres, we people are like forgotten lyres. Okay, all right. A couple things to take a look at here in the third quatrain. We rest, right? So we try to go to sleep, right? But a dream has power to poison sleep. So this is, of course, the implication is bad dreams can poison sleep. So if we're looking at the again the sound devices, and this is cacophonous, that plosive P has power to poison, and then we even throw the extra P in there. So if you want to mark all of them together, then it goes from being alliteration to what? That's right, to consonants. Consonants. Okay, we rise, so we wake up. One wandering thought pollutes the day. I mean, it's a fairly, it's hyperbolic, so it's hyperbole for sure. But the idea is that one negative thought pollutes the day, like ruins the whole day. Okay, and so this plays in this idea of the poison sleep and the polluting the day. Embrace, so we feel, conceive, or reason, laugh, or weep. Embrace fond woe. Now this is without question a paradox. And it sets us up for the ultimate paradox, which is the last line, and this is the point that the poet is trying to make. Okay? Embrace fond woe. So, I mean, here, the whole phrase is paradoxical, but this bit right here is oxymoron. Fond woe, without question, oxymoron. Okay, two-word paradox. So let's remember that. So hit pause and make a note. All these devices that I'm holding up again for your for your review and attention. These are the things you need to memorize because they're going to keep showing up over and over as we go deeper into these romantic poets. Okay? Embrace fond woe, or cast our cares away. And he's claiming it's the same. These two things are the same. Again, this paradox. For, be it joy or sorrow, the path of its departure still is free. Okay? Untethered. Man's yesterday may ne'er be like his morrow. Naught may endure but mutability. Nothing endures except for change. Nothing endures except for change. So this is what Shelley has to say about human existence, and I think the last thing that I wanted to mention to you is why this is such a I think the powerful idea that's happening in this poem that Blake talked about this in some of his poetry, but it's the idea of embracing fond woe. my note to self is this one, that, and I'm sure that you know people like this in your lives, that people often will hold on to negative memories, or they will feed off the negative. It's like the Blake business about the poison tree, okay, and the hot and cold resentment, that we generally resent other people because of something that we get for it, okay? If someone speaks slightingly to us, and we choose to take their words as an insult or whatever, we now get to sort of play the martyr. And so the thing we get out of that is that we're the downtrodden, and so we deserve pity, especially. And the pity that we're really talking about then, of course, is our pity for ourselves. But lots of people feed off of negativity, or they need to feel something, and so feeling negativity is better than feeling nothing. And we know this, there are people, maybe it's younger siblings of yours, or maybe, heaven forbid, at some point in your life you were like this, where you did wrong, or you were disruptive just to get attention. Because to get attention, say from a parent or a teacher or a coach or whatever, even if it's negative attention, is better than no attention at all. So in terms of the negativity there, because many people, I think you see these people in your lives as well, they don't believe they deserve to be happy for whatever reason, and so they're holding on to the negativity as a way that they can get something out of a situation that life throws in their way. So as all of us then are sort of in this corona situation, let's all kind of remember that we've got to make the best of this. And one of the ways I hope that you're making the best of this is by enjoying these delightful poems by our romantic poets. All right, so that's all I have for you, and good luck on the quiz.